This will probably be the first and only take of this, but I had this theory going on because today, well, I'll just tell you the whole story. Started off the day, I was looking at road maps. I was looking at road maps from PA to New York to Maine, up into Quebec, and just pretty much checking out Canada. Then I was looking at Alaska, how big of a large mass it is, you know what I mean, owned by the United States, and comparing it to other countries, its size and portions and the tundras and all that. And then went down to Hawaii and watched where, I forget what it's called, like the mid-something sea, where the elevations of the water is, and little islands going up through there. And pretty much what it started was a conversation of like tsunamis, earthquakes, underwater and deep water, and then whenever they hit land, they come up and take out. Well, me and a buddy were discussing about one of the biggest tsunamis where it took out 250-foot side of a mountain and things like that. So we got into the whole conversation of like the whole end of the world theory and things like that. Then we started talking about the super volcanoes, like the one that's supposed to be in Yosemite or whatnot. It's supposed to be what? An impact of 100,000 nuclear bombs being dropped at once. And then we got into the conversation. Oh yeah, just by my buddy, he's pretty good about that. You know what I mean? He collects like facts of what he sees and hears and things like that. So usually I ask him a bunch of questions. I come up with my own philosophies. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, you know what I mean? We were talking about like the acidic acid, the thunderstorms of like over 300,000 degrees of temperature, and how it extinct out the dinosaurs. And then I started thinking about like Tibet. You know what I mean? How it would be safe because of how high the Himalayas are and all that junk. You know what I mean? And then we started talking about how monks must know something about how close they are to heaven. And then when we were talking about like the extinction of dinosaurs, you know what I mean? Whatever dinosaurs was left after that big bang explosion or whatever, there was no fresh water for them to drink, so it pretty much made them extinct. And that kind of got me thinking about the Fountain of Youth. And like I live on a mountain, so there's natural springs under the ground. So I was thinking the Fountain of Youth is probably in Tibet. Because think about it, if a super volcano did happen, everything went crazy. Alright? Somewhere in the mountains of Tibet, there's got to be an underwater spring, right? And there's got to be a way none of that acidic acid or anything be able to hit anything that's in a cavern that's in an underwater spring if the surface of the earth is covered. So, in my conclusion of my theory is like the Fountain of Youth is actually in Tibet, because if you think about it, well, pretty much how I came to the conclusion of thinking about it is like this. It's like the Fountain of Youth, you know what I mean? Live forever. Say if something like of that terms did happen, like the end of the world, big volcano, blah, 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 yeah. You know what I mean? Everything's screwed. Like the water, whoever's left over, the water that you're drinking, you know what I mean? There's no way to get that acidic acid out of there or anything like that. So very much it's tainted water, which is going to shorten your life. And since it shortens your lifespan, you know what I mean? You don't live throughout the full potential of what your life could be. Now with fresh water, you know what I mean? You can live into your older dying days. You know what I mean? So with fresh water, as you drink and have a supply of fresh water, you can actually live out your full lifespan. Hence, the Fountain of Youth. Which is why I think the Fountain of Youth was never found. You know what I mean? It's not a mythical theory or anything like that. It's just say, if everything in the world is tainted and nothing can be used, and water is the main source, like yeah, any kind of fresh running spring is pretty much the Fountain of Youth. Yeah, just a thought. That's how I came to that conclusion. Just a bunch of bibble babble and jibber jabber. Just a theory. Alright, have a good one.